Annyeonghaseyo, this is meowmurai. Let's continue our game of the First Descendant running on PC. Oh, I thought I might give them the secret garden, huh? Do I even have it on me? This gives me more grappling hook. Unlocking core slots and equipping cores gives the equipment a variety of powerful options. Select the equipment to unlock core slots. If the equipment already has core slots unlocked, you can equip cores. It's max shield, equipment, recovery, and defense. I've got max shield, shield out of combat, shield recovery in combat. And then this is going to be defense, fire resistance, chill resistance, electric, and toxic. Hmm. Or max HP, huh? Recovery modifier.
인류는 너무나 나약해. 그래서 우리가 꼭 필요하지.
Oh, I have everything except for the catalyst. Or the blueprint, I should say. We haven't done this as Keelan. Afterglow. Oh my gosh. So many. Jeeber, jeeber, jeeber. I have quite a few of that afterglow. What do I do? Stim accelerant?
모듈에 대한 건 뭐든 물어보세요.
Ew, running out of money.
계승자, 작전 지역 도착 확인. 조심해서 진행하십시오. 대규모 불거스 전송 확인. 계승자, 적들의 병력 전개를 저지하세요.
외출, 사령부로 전송.
수송기 병력 강화 완료. 대기 패턴으로 이동 중. 행운을 빕니다. 계승자. 계승자. 적 병력이 대량으로 전송되고 있습니다. 원점을 공격해야 합니다.
Oh, thanks. Gotta have the ears. That's where the power comes from.
수송기 병력 강화 완료. 대기 패턴으로 이동 중. 행운을 빕니다. 계승자.
Well, I don't know if I'm good at the game. I think I just kind of get by. Thankfully, when I have more free time, I managed to level up most of the weapons. So that just makes leveling up your character easy by having good weapons available for them. Really, that's the key. At least until you build up all of your skills, upgrade all your slots on your character. Killing with heart? Okay. Yeah, really, I'd say there's just maybe there's like 3 or 4 weapons that you would need to, you know, build out fully, and that sort of helps you build all the other characters along. You know, blast dagger for bosses. This gun, the Albion Cavalry, for mobs. The Malevolent, if you don't mind buying the Season Pass. And then the Restored Relic, which you can get through... well, you can't get it through quests or anything anymore, but you can get it through the... you can get all the components through one of the NPCs. I think just with those 4, just having those leveled up, you know, all the way through all the slots leveled up, and all the modules inside them leveled up, then that just helps you along. And then while you're upgrading the slots for your actual Descendant, those at least guarantee your survivability. I mean, of course, the external components matter too. I mean, it's not like they don't matter. And the reactor, you know, as long as you implant the kind of weapon that you're using in the reactor, goes a long way. Yeah, because unfortunately Keelan is not the best. He's not quite the best Descendant. I mean, he's just a little step above Jaber, but I think he struggles a little bit. Oh, I mean, you do have you do have the option of giving, you know, of setting multiple profiles. So if you want to totally max out Serena, I mean, there's not too much of a build difference between a mobbing profile and a bossing profile, and the Void Erosion Purge. And it just depends on if you want to do solo or if you want to do group play against like an intercept battle. Because a solo is a much different build than you know, playing in public games. You need a lot more defense in a public game. Whereas if you're just playing solo, you can get away with using things like overwhelming shield, right? Which you definitely would not want to do if you were just playing if you're playing a public game. You can do it in a solo game because you're only banking on the fact of you doing so much damage that you're not likely to go over your shield limit. But I go for my shield limit all the time if I'm playing a public game. So the idea of using, you know, having 1 HP and just a ton of shield, it just doesn't work. I just die constantly if I have a setup like that in a public game. It also helps that in a private game, you know, the damage is, or well, the HP that you that the enemies have is much less. So that you can get away with 1 HP and, you know, 2,500 shield or 25,000 shield.
작전적 퇴출 시작. 고생 많았습니다. 대승자.
I mean, you're gonna have to grind your guns, of course. I mean, it's worth it to fully catalyze her because then you're not constantly running out of MP, right? Which is that's her major problem, is that she, you know, her flying ability just zaps your MP, and without fully upgrading her, then she's just gonna struggle a little bit. Yeah, I mean, right now she's the top tier character. Serena's the top tier character. I mean, Inez is a very close second. It really just depends on what kind of kit you want to have. You know, I think it'll be a while before we see a Serena nerf. Probably not until Nell has become more popular, you know, than the newer character. If Nell is like really overpowered, then they might consider nerfing Serena, but I think not any sooner than that. It just seems to be the pattern of the developers. It's like the new characters get to stay buff for quite a while, you know, until a new character comes along, and then the old characters they get a debuff. You know, they get a nerf. I think either way, though, I mean, both characters are really good. They can both do everything, right? They can both do all the modes. Well, they can both do all the modes now. It used to be Inez completely sucked at the Void Erosion Purge. And, you know, you need to do the Void Erosion Purge to get the to upgrade your weapons, to get the components for your weapons. Yeah, I mean, I know it's a bummer to farm the catalysts, because you need like a ton of catalysts for your character and every weapon that you want to upgrade. But it's well worth it, you know. I mean, yes, you might, at the most you can make 2 a day, and that's only if you're like, you know, if you have like a lot of time. It doesn't like take a lot of time to get the components, but it does take a lot of time to build them, right? There's a mandatory wait time. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that they're making content for both skill-based and gun-based. So you're always gonna need some guns. Like I said, if you just want to build just the Albion, that's a good general gun. It does a fair amount of damage. You know, it damages enemies around them and it freezes them. So if you just need to build one gun, then I think the Albion is a pretty good choice. If you're mainly doing bosses, then, you know, do the Final Dagger. If you do a lot of Void Erosion Purge, then you might want to consider the Restored Relic. Yeah, because you see me, I mean, every time I start the game, I farm 1 catalyst. So every day I get 1 catalyst. Now, you know, if I had if I had the time to check on this game twice a day, then I'd get 2 catalysts a day. But yeah, I don't have the time to check back in every time every time a catalyst gets completed, the research gets completed.
여기는 하운드 액추얼. 모든 인원에게 전달한다. 보이드 폭풍 심화로 작전 환경이 좋지 않다. 주의해서 움직여. 이상.
Yeah, I think the problem with if you do just a skill-based build, then there's like all the modes in the now in the future, basically the Void Erosion Purge and Axiom are gonna require some guns, right? And some enemies are just going to be go down better if you have a better gun versus a skill. I mean, that's how they're trying to balance the game, is they're trying to give skill-based Descendants something to do and gun-based Descendants something to do, and they can participate in the same mode. That was a problem with originally with the Void Erosion Purge, is that it was only gun-based Descendants, and then the skill-based Descendants, they just had to sit out. They just had to sit that mode out. They made some adjustments now so that you can do both, but it's still a little more effective to be a gun-based Descendant and just to have a better gun. But if you're doing everything else, if you're doing intercept battles, if you're doing regular missions, if you're doing special operations, I mean the skill-based Descendants tend to do better than those. I mean, if you want to farm anything, that's pretty much Serena, Inez, and Bunny. You know, they can farm everything. But Void Erosion Purge is you still need some good guns, at least to be efficient, and not, you know, run out of time all the time. And I think that's just how the game is going to be. It makes sense to balance it that way. Like, technically, Keelan is a skill-based Descendant, right? I mean, I'm supposed to be just launching myself left and right, you know, throwing out poison here and there. But when you first start, you know, you're not going to have good recharge times on your skills, and so, you know, while technically he's a skill-based Ascendant, and that's his, like, most effective build, like, you can't do it because just his charge times take too long when you first start. So you have to have some sort of backup, in which case the Albion works for me with him. Yeah, then if I was playing Clay, you know, I mean, I would always have the Restored Relic with her. The good thing about Inez is that you can just give her Secret Garden, which does, you know, some pretty good damage. It just doesn't do group damage, and I think she can get by for almost all the game with just that. Whoops. Oh, okay. Keelan dies. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I mean, you're gonna have to invest in at least one good gun, and you can save the rest of the catalyst for your Descendant. But you know, it's easy to farm. It's easy to farm the catalyst. It doesn't really take that much time. The only thing that takes time is the research time. But getting the actual components is really easy. I mean, that's just my suggestion. You know, I mean, if you just want to dump everything into Inez, you're certainly not going to be hurting for content. I mean, you'll be able to do almost everything with a really powered up Inez. Serena's real strength is her combination of her skills with a gun. I mean, again, you could use her dive bomb build and just dive bomb everything, but that's not going to work for like your intercept battles. Yeah. Yeah, the dive bomb gets you pretty far. I mean, it's not like it's not good. It's a good build. But if you want to do like the Void Erosion Purge, then your dive bombing is not going to be quite so good. And then, you know, you'd have to invest in another, a slightly different build for her. Well, I said, there's no losing. I mean, between Serena and Inez, there's no losing character. the two top tier characters, they will get you through everything. You know, if you want to play the other characters, you can, of course. But either one of those two is, you know, not a bad choice. I mean, you see how effective Inez is here. I mean, she just wrecks everything. Same with Serena. If you have Serena and the Malevolent, I mean, there's very few things that'll kill you. Yeah, I mean, you know, you need catalysts in the game. I mean, they're the key to upgrading your characters. You gotta upgrade those slots, you know. And you get those modules nice and strong. Yeah, I mean, I hate to give you the bad news, but it does have to be both. and, you know, you'll get into a routine with all your daily missions of farming catalysts, and then farming gold and XP. Full up. Guess we'll do Veterans Tactics. Yeah, I think the ideal skill-based Descendant is Inez. I think she has some advantages over Serena because Serena really, like I said, Serena's best build is her as a gun Descendant. And using the Malevolent. Whereas Inez's best build is her Hunting Hound build. and then she just has a gun just for as a stat stick, you know, to help her with her charge times on her grappling hook or her running speed. And they give Inez better outfits. I mean, Serena's still a new character, so I think she'll get there eventually, but you know, if you want the better outfits, which is, you know, half of the game, then that's probably Inez. I think Inez wins on that one. Oh yeah, I don't mean just the bikinis. I mean, you know, of course they all have their own unique bikinis, but all her other outfits that are not bikinis are also, well, I don't know, I guess it depends. I guess that's mostly opinion, which ones you like better. I guess I can say at least Inez has more outfits than Serena. But Serena's, you know, she's still fairly new. I'm sure she'll get there. You know, like for Inez, I mean, I think the outfit I was using the most, even really after her bikinis came out, was the, I think it was one of the white outfits. It just seemed to be like a really good fit. And there were enough of the colors you could mess with to make it pretty individual if you wanted to. Largely, though, opinion, you know. Like I said, you just may end up liking Serena's costumes more. Yeah, I mean, Inez is good if you just want to be skill-based. There are some modes which you're just going to have a hard time with or just not play. But for the most part, you can do almost everything. You can do like 90% of the content with just Inez and her hunting hounds build. Like if you like before you had a chance to build out your guns. Like I said, you'll want to eventually build out your guns, but you know, if you want to build out a character first, then Inez is the easiest, and she does the most damage, just for the amount of effort you put into her. But that being said, Serena does the most damage. I mean, she is the single most damaging character in the entire game. I mean, she'll do damages. She'll do really good damage with mobs, and she'll do really good damages with bosses. She'll have like the best times in the Void Erosion Purge. I mean, she's just like overall the best character, the strongest character. But you do have to put more time into her, you know. You do have to invest more with her. I say though it doesn't really, like, it really doesn't matter that much. I mean, it depends on which style of game you like more. If you really like the flying of Serena, and you like the option of doing a gun build and a skill-based build, right? Because there is no good gun build with Inez. Like, she's just not a good gun descendant. You have an option with Serena, right? You really can only do skills with Inez. Her other Transcendent mod, where she does the little plasma balls, I mean, that's pretty useless. I've tried to build out. I've tried to build out that skill set quite a bit, and it just is, you know, just is not good. Oh, this guy's almost shooting me. Hey, leave me alone. Yeah, I mean, if you want some good minimal builds where you don't have to invest in a lot, then I think Real Asian Robot has some good builds. He has some ones that are like budget builds where you don't have to, you know, upgrade every slot, and you know you can still do a lot of content. I think Full Measure also does that kind of stuff too, if I remember correctly.
임무 종료. 수송기를 그쪽으로 보내겠다. 어서 귀환해.
Yeah, I think Inez is better at at farming. Inez or Bunny. I mean, at this point in time, Bunny is like number 3. So. And the developers are always giving you a chance to make Ultimate Bunny. They're either giving you Ultimate Bunny or they're making it so that you don't have to work very hard to get Ultimate Bunny. Yeah, I think overall Inez is probably going to be a good character to start with.
여기는 하운드 액추얼. 모든
And
인원에게
then,
전달한다.
you know, using her, you can farm all the stuff for
작전 환경이 좋지 않다.
any guns or any other
주위에서
characters you want.
이상.
I said I like Inez. I like her a lot. You know, I'm more of a Luna main, but I mean Inez is it's a really fun build to play. She has really good abilities. I mean, you start off with pretty low HP and defense, but you know you can fix that through your external components and your catalysts.
아르케스 유체. 생명 반응 확인.
Yeah, if you want a bossing character, then that's pretty much Haley or Serena. I guess
난 그걸 즐기는 편이고.
I guess a lot of people consider Enzo, with his recent buffs, they consider him a good boss killer too. If you want to have one of the guys, just because he can make infinite ammo, so you don't have to worry about that. And overall, his buffing abilities just really help. And if you're farming catalysts, it's easier to use Enzo to get one of the components. Although you don't have to
작전 지역
even upgrade any of his catalysts to do that. Because he has a natural ability to slow down the mini game for I forget the name of the component, but yeah, he has the easiest time farming, you know, very specific components that require you to open treasure boxes. Or I guess they're not treasure boxes, puzzle boxes, I guess. I don't know.
상공이 나타났다. 압수시켜.
Yeah, and Enzo is just, that's it. It's good to have a pocket Enzo. Even though he basically doesn't have any good designs. Like, man has no drip. But he can shoot a gun really good. So, that's where he makes up for it. Ah, Keelan. I wish he was a little better. But I guess they are working on him. Trying to fix him.
계승자, 공중 지원이 대기 중이다. 신호 주면 지상 제압을 시작하겠다. 머리 조심해.
Yeah, I mean, I started off building Haley just because I like the idea of doing so much, you know, so much damage to a single target. I mean, she's a fun character to build. But you know, listen, ultimately Serena and Inez are at the top. They're at the top of the food chain. And I like playing Luna because I like the idea of the rhythm action game in the middle of doing you know, some really good mobbing. Even though for a long time she had the worst outfits. She had like the worst swimsuit and the worst regular outfits. But I think they finally did her. I think they finally did her well in these last two outfits.
하우드 액추얼, 사령부로 전송. 임무 완료했다. 수송기 지원을 부탁한다.
Man, it's almost time for me to log off. I'm so exhausted. I'm going to work so much today. But yeah, Inez or Bunny, best farming,
여기는 하우드 액추얼.
pure damage numbers,
작전 지역의 보이드 농도가
Serena and
전원,
Haley.
작전 판단하에 움직이되 무리하지 말 것.
대규모 벌거스 전송 확인. 계승자, 적들의 병력 전개를 저지하세요.
you know, among the guys, probably Lepic and Ultimate Blair. Along with Denzel, I keep forgetting that he's like a really good character now. I mean, that was only recently that they made him like one of the better characters. You know, everybody loves Yujin if you want to do a support character. Just because he can save everybody's bacon. And if you wanted to use Yujin's mobbing build, it's actually pretty effective. Though, you know, you really want to stick with his support build if you're ever going to play him. Yeah, Luna's super fun. Like I said, I basically main Luna, but she is the hardest to play. Her gameplay is not easy. I think most people give up on her just because it's so hard to do the rhythm game. Yeah, Haley's just a very specialized character. I mean, most bosses she can two-shot. A lot of bosses she can one-shot. But, you know, you have to build, like... You have to build her, you know, for specific bosses. So you'll have, like, multiple profiles and... usually a couple different profiles for the weapons, too. But yeah, if you like one-shotting enemies, then that's, you know, that's the Haley thing. But again, she's like specialized, so every boss is going to be a little bit different in your build. You know, you're going to do different, you're going to take different inversion reinforcements. That one requires a little research. It's pretty satisfying, though. You know, you had to put some work into her, but it's, as I said, it's a satisfying build.
보이드는 예측할 수 없는 일들로.
Okay, why don't we stop it there? This is meowmurai. You've been watching the First Descendant running on PC. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed watching. I will see you at the next stream. And I gotta go to bed. I'm like falling asleep on my controller here. Have a good night.